everybody. Happy Thursday. Let's go. Excellent. Let's start here on right off the bat. Let's jump into crypto, and then I'm going to jump into the other markets as well, kind of follow up on some of the bigger developments we want to look at. Oil, energy in general, S&P, NASDAQ. And let's take a quick look at what's going on with our Luna situation. And before anyone forgets or reminds, I saw you remind me, there's our risk disclaimer. This is not financial advice. It's entertainment. I hope you find educational, and we only talk about harmonic patterns using the harmonic pattern collection. So we'll start with TradingView. Good morning, everybody. Excellent. Yep. Appreciate it. Great shout out to everybody in the chat. And again, thanks for keeping it going on the Discord, folks. Definitely been helping me as I deal with local situation here, but everything's great. For all the new folks, go to harmonictrader.com and just sign up as a basic member. Get with the books, get with the software, and then just scroll down. Here's the Discord link. Get with the Discord group. So again, really coming together nicely. Thank you everybody for being really helpful on Troll Watch, keeping the conversation good where everyone is benefiting. Today, folks, I want to talk about this scenario of where we are in a lot of the crypto situations. Talk about the return, meaning we are in the midst of a reaction, right? So we want to assess what are the factors that are going to tell us whether or not to manage these setups like Luna and basic attention token, and others, even the Bitcoin and Ethereum reactions we see currently. Okay, we want to look at it from this perspective. And we are, this can be any pattern, bat pattern, crab pattern, whatever. We're looking for this reaction with the trend line off the low up to the 382618 level. That's the structural reactive mechanism. And I've said this before, that any harmonic move is basically defined by a 382. Here's the next slide, just to kind of look at this other slide here. It doesn't matter what pattern it is. Here is an old pattern, 5-minute on NASDAQ. Same type of deal. Terminal bar, little check back reaction, and we go to our target, and then we will be looking for the return. So again, we bring this into Luna. Okay, now what? We're looking for target 1, target 2. And great reaction, something right off the XA leg with everything we want to see. And now, okay, I want to basically make the assessment. Now, is this a reaction? Go from 65, 55. We're at our minimum target, 78.25 is what we talked about all along. But as high as target 2, and a lot of the crypto moves we have been seeing, yes, have been going as high as target 2. The other aspect that, and just from a structural basis, that's what we look for. Now, beyond that, what am I looking for in between these two levels? Something like HSI, which did trigger. What was that? About a day ago, 24 hours ago. But look at the other indicator we use, amplified RSI, as it's triggering right here. Amplified is still in the overbought. Okay? Something to be aware of, that here is your trigger on HSI. And our minimum, again, 78.25. All the way down off the low at 65.55. That's our segment that we want to focus on. Now tell me what's happening at or just beyond that level, or between target 1, target 2. Those events, those things that happen between these two levels will dictate whether or not we're going to ride this, or we're going to look for something like this. We'll come back down. One of the most difficult assessments of harmonic patterns, okay, is taking the reaction trade up to your target 1 minimum. The rest is gravy, but we want to optimize, okay, between this level here. Just kind of frame it out. It's pretty concrete of where we should be looking. Now, if we're between target 1, target 2, we even have HSI with a check back, which makes this price bar remarkably significant within the whole progress of this reaction. And we had a little throwdown earlier, about an hour or two ago, and it came right back. So essentially, look at this around 83 bucks. If we can pop above 83, good chance to go for target 2. That's how I would look at that. Also, here's the other thing. We're on a bit of an acceleration out of this zone. And that's another little trend line I'll always look at, where we want to shoot the gap. We really want to reach target 2 for the full reaction, but we tighten up the stops. We tighten up our allowances for pullbacks. This is a great spot where you can even go on a 1 to 3 bar trailing stop here. 78 and change was our minimum. If I capture anything above 79, I'm doing my job. And if this, if I want to let this run, okay, my stops and how this should progress should not take out any prior bar lows. For example, 79.50, just underneath there, that prior bar low. Nice place to put a stop, a big stop, or even under the current 4-hour bar. 79.90, 80.50, something like that. You're securing a bulk of the move, but we know target 2 can get up there. So we'll look at that. I mean, that's in a couple of the situations we laid out on Tuesday. And even Bitcoin is having itself a reaction, thank goodness, right? Like, I don't want to see Bitcoin go down to those numbers, but I will still, I'm glad that it's stabilizing because, as I said, it creates a better environment for altcoins to move. And that's my focus about Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. I think it's great. I think it's got the central bankers very concerned, and that's a great thing. But it's got to be at what price? So, again, just to review, ever since the 46 debacle, the breakdown at 46,000, which, stretched out, lost anything that it had. It really is there's really a lot there at 46,000, folks, because it spent so much time going sideways and we got two patterns. And you could say, well, Scott, there's another pattern here. Let's hang our hat on this pattern. Eesh, not yet. Really, what I think is we have to look at this as just pure reaction. And we're now running into a 4-hour HSI on the top side here. Look at the PRZ. Okay. This is something I've always warned about, and it's a great help. Look, HSI hit the overbought, came out of the zone, and is rolling over. That's different than Luna. Luna actually gave you more expansion when it hit the the overbought, triggering that bearish amplified signal, and we have it again on Bitcoin on the 4-hour, where you have amplified and HSI, all of those at 44. Yeah, call it 40, basically 43.9 is going to cap this thing. For now, I just don't see that thing blasting, and it's starting to remind us of the reactions from the other two patterns that we had back here. Quick reaction. Look at the first ABCD. Really nice reaction, but runs into target 2, right back down for the retest. In this case, the fact that we have an HSI, both of these tell us we're going to let some air out, folks. And even amplified probably needs to come back down. This is what I would be looking for into the weekend. Come back down for a retest to resolve that amplified oversold condition with a secondary test. The problem is, again, this is the way that I differentiate, and I think it's helpful to understand what's going on in that 30-bar window. There's terminal bar. Okay, what's happening in those where we're going? There's 50 bars. Where's 30 bars? Right there's 30 bars. Okay, you finally get out of the zone post 30 bars, but this should do continuation. If we roll over, and I think this is even a great way to look at this. Okay, you break that 3-bar low under 42.8. It's probably you retest XA, if not a full hop retest, is at stake here. Why? Because this is just a wishy-wash dud harmonic pause. That's all it is, just a reaction out of the zone, which is quite common, especially when you cannot really rock it. You can't hit the zone and go, or at least get to target 1. Those are problems. Those are really, it presents challenges because, look, this is the window, okay? Let's dial it back. That's the 30-bar window for real. Right there is your 30-bar window. And it hit the zone. I traced this out Tuesday. I think it's a great way to think about it. What does the price action do? It goes straight, sideways, or even say zigzag, but really the move was down first. Sideways, down, okay, then up. But it has to continue, and it has to continue to target 1. All right, and that's the way to read it. Where are you more than 30 bars sideways? Yes, I am. Okay, am I running into any resistance that counters or a counter signal against the pattern? Yes, I am. Like this. 24, 5, 7, 8. There's 30 bars. So if we mark the 30 bar window, that bar, basically here, that bar, you can barely get out of the zone. All of those things tell me it's failed, or not failing, but it's flawed is the better word. Flawed. Not as nice as, say, something that if it came up to target 1 then came back. That would, we know. Those are the better retest scenarios. That's what truly separates type 1, type 2. So if this is still in a type 1 and we're plus 30 days facing a bearish signal against our bullish 4-hour zone, it very well could be a lot like we've seen these other dud patterns. Important to be mindful of that. The other thing is, again, Ethereum doing much the same deal, although a little bit better. Look at this. We were right on that about 3,000. There's the PRZ, but this one too, there's a lot of things here. Look at the prior zone. Let me clean this up for a second, but the prior PRZ absolutely shows you that kind of behavior in advance. So there's the smaller crab at 3,600 we were negotiating 2 weeks ago. There's terminal bar. Okay, so we'll do the ruler counter. That's just a standard tool on TradingView. And then just highlight to the 30 bar mark. There's bar 30. You can't even get to target 1, and you get a counter HSI. HSI, bearish against a bullish zone, trying to get out of there. That's trouble. And then just tell me what this does post 30 bars. Are you continuing or are you rolling over? Clearly rolling over. That was the things we were assessing 2 weeks ago. Now you're doing it again. Notice how these things give you pauses precisely at the levels. That's something that's really strong about the patterns, especially when you get them right. They're going to put you in areas where you can negotiate this kind of consolidation. All right, but it's the management and the follow through where it's a true make or break. So again, how are we going to handle Ethereum? Are we going to get to target 1 at 35.69? It's running out of time. That's the way to think about it. Where this is, if we fail and we break this trend line, clearly we should be managing here. There's no way I want to sit in a position where I would let this come all the way back down and not be out of the trade. I call this area the profit protection zone. I should show you that the model. I'll find it towards the end, but the whole idea of protecting the reaction off of any harmonic pattern is so key to total success, total methodology success, because this is the norm. We're going to capture reactions. Our ability to capture these reactions is essential because the larger reversal moves or explosions, if you will blast by bar 20, by bar 30. And if you're 30 bars, you need to start looking for the return move where, again, that 30 bar metric, we've been talking about that a lot this week, essentially just creates the window. This is your sample size, folks. Your 30 bars, that's your sample size. And so treat that as a collection of data of what's that sample size say about this pattern? Not much, right? If we were target 1 or we were like a Luna exploding, it'd be a lot better. FTM, sure, I'll look at that because I have been looking at that. FTM was a great one that I really, I think, had a lot of things there. Now you're back up to this 886. You are correct. It went from Gartley to Shark. Um, Bat to Shark is probably better. Let me connect some dots for everybody. Okay, FTM. This has been one of the high flyers, flirting with all-time highs. There you go. B point at a 48.7. Call it a 50. Go down to the 886. Look at that. Really? 886 off your December low. That's beautiful. 215 now 309. Folks, those are trades upon trades. This is when crypto is your friend. At an 886 and you blast on through, that's a strong type 1 reaction. Why is it type 1? Well, your 886 was right here at 216 and you did not hit it on the first test there. So in effect, you're still type 1. But look at the 618 382 levels. It's like this. Okay, if I'm looking at 382, 382 is right there. And it just blasts on through. And then your 618 level that we look at, remember, those are the two structural levels. We're assessing into that zone at around 275. So what happens here? Does it go down at all? No, it's on a 1 bar serial continuation. There's your first bearish signal at 294. From 210 to 294, a straight shot reaction where if you want to be super conservative, take it right off at 294 after HSI triggers. But you're now back up at the 886 with kind of a shark. Listen, it's not the greatest of sharks. Yes, you have your XABC, real nice tight configuration. Boink, sends it up to an 886. 886 is there. 306, 305. So you go back-to-back patterns. Great way to use the structures for targets. Even though this has a good chance because there's nothing, that hasn't stopped. Also, look at what amplified RSI is doing here on the 4-hour. Another great way to differentiate whether or not these HSIs are going to be a pause, if they're really going to give you a pivot, or you don't have it because amplified's not is expanding. You don't have amplified RSI with HSI, so the likelihood of that being a reaction just yet, not yet, not quite. I would be looking at this to roll over probably on the 4-hour and come down on a retracement. Looks like you'll have another complex structure here. Actually, you will, because this is truly right here. This is a complex structure. It's tough to see, but it's like this. Doink, doink, doink being a technical term for pivot points, and then down. Even though you had that secondary move come back out, you will have an M formation coming out of that overbought zone, meaning whatever correction comes off of this 886, which I think you'll get, all right, you'll have an opportunity. Basically, what we would look for is that to be a shark down to the 50. 260, yeah, 260. Something like that. So FTM, sure, look at the daily. I think it's super strong. Look at these trends. These are the new ones, folks. Again, I've been saying these are the kind of ones that, what's the next Solana? Right? Wish we were all in Solana a year ago while we were piling into Doge and other dogs that were great, but they didn't last. They didn't give you the super 100x. Well, Doge did, but the super, Solanas that are sustainable, not the pop and rolls. Doge was amazing, so I can't diss Doge. Absolutely. Let's look at XRP. Yes, XRP, another big name, fantastic pattern. I found the pattern, by the way. It is the weekly on one of the feeds. This is what it was traced out. And I think XRP is ready to rock. If you're able to buy it, go for it. Here is the weekly. Look at this. This is something that we have seen these massive patterns. So if you are on the TradingView platform, folks, or any of the HPC Pro platforms, take the weekend, run your scanner, go through weekly patterns, please. See what you find. I'll show you a few today. Some of them have resulted in the biggest winners of the last 6 months for me. Things that I was buying a year ago are off of these massive patterns, are exploding. This is no different. You had a massive flash down to the XA, which is the type 2 officially. So check it out. There was type 1 off the Gartley. Why? Because take a look. The December 2020 low sets you up as your primary X to A level. Now, B point reaches a 618 within our tolerance. Beautiful. All right. Then we come down, and it's tough to see. It should be like this. Let me show you this. So your ABCD off the top is like this. There's B, come back to C at a perfect 786, down to your 127, which is right about there. 61, 62 cents. That's your floor, folks. 62 has been a floor for months. I don't expect that to change. You are at you're really close to. You come back down one more time, maybe on the weekly, sure. But I expect that to be massive support for the next leg higher. It's almost ready to go. So that's how we get it. And take a look at the reaction. So there's terminal bar and reaction off of the terminal bar and all our 786 and the other numbers that we're looking for, 55 to 105. Our minimum target off of that terminal bar reaction was nearly 100%. It actually went more than 100%, but our minimum was 100%. And it happened on this bar. But look, no follow through after it hits into that zone. So you come up, and now we come back down. We did retest. This reminds me a lot of the gold chart. Okay, when gold flashed down to 1720 and then has gone sideways to grind higher. This is, I think, much in the same situation. We've got a few different things here. I think if you get a chance, if this comes to 65 one more time, that could be the last time you see it at that level. Go in a 4-hour time frame. Not a heck of a lot. This wick on the 4-hour, again, is going to be crazy depending on who you're dealing with. Binance is probably a better one. I've seen them lower in the 40s depending on the wick. I think it's 60s probably a safe play. This bat pattern off of the most recent, you got back-to-back patterns here. ABCD, now back with the bat at the hop. 74 and change. I would be looking. I would really be looking at this puppy. I said this before. I'll say it again. I suspect there's going to be something come out on this settlement. What will happen when XRP settles, right? They settle. Oh, government's just playing games again. And I definitely think that once that happens, this will just rocket. And so we want to be targeting those larger support zones. Again, 65 cents scrapes the bottom end. I would say between 74 and 65, you're in business. I like it. I really do. I mean, it's got patterns. It's got everything. You have type 2 And let's, hey, it reminds me of this pattern. It reminds me of this. Come on. Way back when, here you go. Remember when BTC, all the way back here on the weekly? Let's go. Remember? It kind of reminds me of this situation. I'm not saying it's going up 10x or 15x, but where XRP is in terms of type 1, type 2 back-to-backs, this is it. And I would be looking, for more of these situations. Speaking of basic attention token, that's in a really nice type 1 reaction on the 4-hour here. Go back. There you go. 4-hour. Where'd you go? There it is. The Gartley. Now, we're trying to kick back. I'm still want to see target 1 on this. What's it doing within the 30-bar window? Remember, this is also a back-to-back scenario. So you have a shark off the top. Not surprised to see this thing grind, grind, grind. It's actually a type 2 on the shark. We did get up to the 5.0 level all the way up here. Now you're back down. Maybe we do a 1-2 and then explode and go. I really am thinking for the larger target of target 2 all the way up there at 184. So I started my entry around 97, 98. Now I have to decide. Am I going to peel that off, take the 10%, and get back in? Because take a look at what happened in the last 24, 48 hours. Okay, we did get an overbought HSI, or no, amplified. HSI failed. I mean, really close. So another 30 bar continuation to determine, or measurement to determine whether we're going to return or not. So 30 bars is right there. Next bar is 30 bar. So if that cannot follow through, essentially I'm looking at that last candle, which took out several prior candles. That's not good. Absolutely do not want to see that thing under 105, or it's a scratch and it's a re-entry. Much like storage. And here's the other one I didn't get into on Tuesday is Engine Coin. Maybe I mentioned that towards the end, but several patterns, folks. And this one got up to target 2 off of the smaller crab, target 1 at 265. Really classic reaction behavior. Look, gets up to these 2 levels. Here's your first HSI. Okay, comes out of the zone. There's your first HSI coming out of the zone. Okay, I have basically warning signs, send up the flares, reaction almost over. Are we ready for the return? Because I would look at it like that. And then the secondary return, if we get that retest, again, that's the 2 of 2, where I'd want to look for the larger moves within these bigger patterns, bigger uptrends. We know that a lot of these coins, not all coins are in the same trending situation. And again, I'll look at, Engine Coin, go to the weekly, look at that trend. Okay, tell me about that trend versus a Doge. Okay, and those are the 2 examples. We've got a lot of these that have made progress and are just retracing off of after making runs to all-time highs. And then we have Doge that's just like this, or the other ones like Bitcoin Cash. These were supposed to be absolute just stellar coins that were going to be the next Bitcoin, and they have not done anything. I mean, there's a several year Coinbase data on Bitcoin Cash. That's not trending up to new all-time highs anytime soon. If anything, Bitcoin Cash, like a lot of these, is just grinding till we get to an 886 full reset. That's why it's important to separate who's running and who's not. There are places where we could speculate, and I'm really clear about that those are more speculative vehicles, and then there's the trending situations. So, Bitcoin Cash is an example of a lot of S coins, even though I think it's much better than an S coin, but all-time 886, folks, on that is it's like 250. Litecoin, same deal. That's why, depending on which one you're looking at, it matters. Um, Here's Litecoin. 886 off of that low is basically $78. And there's nothing on Litecoin that would interest me at the moment. It just doesn't bring it together. Oh, I definitely screwed that up. Let me go back to my other layout. So one or two more. Look at Ford. Holy smokes, look at Ford. Talking about monster patterns, folks. You want to see a monster pattern on Ford? Remember this? We talked about this forever. Now Ford's at target 2 already. Yikes. Remember that? Amazing. That's a bat pattern. All-time bat pattern, folks. And look at how we go. There's terminal bar. But we never got up to type 2. We never got into the return until we hit 18. And that was back in 2009. And then we came all the way back, hit an XA retracement. Down here, when it went negative, folks, that was the bailout. Ford, I think, was 50 cents or 30 cents or something. And then they bailed those suckers out. GM too. And now you're type 2. And your target on type 2, look, it's 25.43. We're 25.82. Amazing. This is something next week I'm going to get into on specific things happening now. I can highlight one or two that I am looking at that are, I think it's just going to take a lot of time, but they are in a good spot. And, I think if we use last year as the kind of the model for what's possible with these, again, we want to be spotting up things like this that have come out of the zone and with real potential to go again. Here's another one, this Bed Bath & Beyond, folks. I like this. This one on a weekly, I'm thinking this is super sleeper. Look at that Gartley on the weekly, checking back at XA level. This is a type 1 reaction. Beautiful weekly Gartley. Check out your levels. We did get HSI confirmation at terminal bar. And here's where Amplified comes in, where it's a real lifesaver. Okay, that comes in a couple weeks later with a complex structure. Goes up to the 50. Now retesting as we hit that. So BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, at around 14 and change. Again, I look at that and say target 1. I'm thinking target 1 all over. Consider that. There's several of these that are like that, folks. Massive patterns. Let the software generate it. Then you don't have to think about it. Just absolutely need to think about, monitoring the reversal, individual price bar action, which we're getting, and then ride the indicators along with that stabilization. Look, Bed Bath & Beyond doing nice reversal today. All we need is a 3-bar breakout. That means, you take a shot down here, this thing will really accelerate above 1640, 1650. And I'm talking about, and you could wait, but I'm thinking shoot the gap up to target 1 at 28. Why not? Maybe some long-term call options, some leaps, maybe the 15s or 20s. I'll look at that more on Monday. That's I think is great. Okay, ICP. That's actually something I did want to talk about because I got into that yesterday. I didn't get into it. I mean, I talked about it on Tuesday. This is one of those that, look, this is the non-trending, but it's has taken it on the chin so much that, all right, it's either going out of business or this thing is at a super deep discount. What do we have? Didn't we have we had something on the 4-hour on this. Looking for that retest. Thought it was deep crab or something. Nothing yet on, I guess, ICP. I don't want to chase this around. I think we were waiting for this to come back anyway, but I forget what was down here. Oh, there's some bearish patterns. Yeah, maybe at 25 or 22 bucks. Again, I think we're just still in reaction phase, folks. Still in a lot of reaction phase across the board. Yeah, let's jump over to NASDAQ. I think that's probably a good place to go. Let's go to the QQQ. Start with Qs. Down 271. And this is the QQQ chart. Not doing much, right? Nice crab pattern off the top, but where are we 30 bars later? Ugly. And really the thought behind all of this is, how do you handle those situations? Because I think, look, we can get to terminal bar and you have really nice confirmation, but then you draw out the 30 bars. And what should it be doing in the 30 bars? By January 10th, it should be at target 1, and you have failed. I mean, you fail basically. You're how many bars in? 20 bars in off of that first pattern. So again, this is still, predominant trend is still intact, and you draw it like this. You're by bar 17, 18, you're failing below this hop right there. I mean, by bar 19, 20, the fact that you see that drag out, or even, here's another one. Okay, you can easily be sideways and stay in it too long and then have the thing come up and then roll back against you. But if we're down here and our confirmation puts us in a good spot, and that's at 384, pops at 388, and then goes sideways and sideways and sideways and sideways, and it does not continue, you have to scalp it. I mean, draw a simple 45-degree trend line off of your terminal bar low, or even just, do a simple retracement. If you pop and you roll over and even get to the 886, or you're still in it and then you break down even more, you have to be out on those kind of breakdowns and failures. Not to mention, look what happened in the zone. Like we're seeing across the board in a lot of the crypto at the moment, we have great pattern. It explodes up, but there's a bearish HSI right in our face against a bullish PRZ. That always means it's going to take more time. It's going to take more time. And if it's going to take more time and you're here, chances are, where are your levels? Because it's going to have to retest. That's why what we're looking at in a lot of the crypto is critical. And don't want to take our eyes off of or sit on our hands when we're in a position, and especially when something as easy as saying 30 bars, 30 bar window is so helpful, because at least this has to do X by certain time of Y. That's how to think about it. That's how the time framework comes in. One or two more. Good comments. Appreciate it. For ICP, isn't data before the big pump on TradingView, but Coinbase you could see it at $8. Yes, actually. So again, thanks for the comment, Dalton. Yeah. So ICP was one where the data is different, and you can look at it depending on, say, Coinbase feed or something like that. A lot of them we can look at the same way the Nasdaq, in terms of like the QQQs versus the futures. That that definitely helps to give kind of a full picture, because maybe the QQQ shows us something that the index or the futures don't. Here's futures chart. Where's NQ futures? NQ futures. There you go. There's the hourly. All right, you had something on NQ futures way back here, which was a bat. Not the same as what the QQQ was showing. A little bit different, but still, that's a lot of sideways action not following through. Remember, the big thing on QQQ was this head and shoulders. Oh, there's the 4-hour. I knew there was something. There is an alternate bat here. Did we hit 1603? Because this looks like it's going to return. Yeah, just fell shy. You do have an alternate bat here. But again, look, terminal bar completes down here, yet bearish HSI tells you, I need more time. I would look at that again for futures. We're just coming back down. More sideways action. I think 15,500, 15,400 is a good number to be looking at. Also recall, and it is really just two levels we're currently considering. Basically, here you have an 886. We could be in a clear checkback situation at the moment where your 15,800, we would need to check back and hit 15,476 for this to be even a continuation signal. So put that in your hat or pipe or whatever you have and smoke it, because this is something where we're early in the construction, but I would be favoring this overall bat formation. Go on an 886 swing to 15.6. Give you a nice bat pattern off of the October low. And you see this sideways action. Doink, 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 doink. Remember, doink. Important technical term. Yep. That's how we look at it. That's where my opportunity comes into play for the larger swing continuation of the market. And until I see that or something else materialize, I'm going to be on the sides. I'm not going to be aggressive on the bullish side yet. I mean, look at Netflix. We talked about some of these maybe 2 weeks ago, towards the end of the year. Remember this? Netflix? A couple of ABCD, deep crabs, essentially all the way down here, off the hop, down to target 2. Well, now we have, finally, HSI checking back on the daily here for the first time. Why? Because here's target 1, target 2. Target 1, that's our first level. When we're up at the hop, okay, when we're up here in this zone, there's the pattern. Think about it that way. There's confirmation. Our assessment is to go to target 1. If not, give me some kind of signal or HSI between these two marks. That's the first place it does it. And all right, so getting there, I would say let's let this shake out. And hey, how many people have been waiting for a 20-30% correction on Netflix? A lot during this whole bull market. So let's see what this does in the next 2 or 3 days. We come back here. Earnings are in about a week. What do you think they're going to do with earnings? Probably, obviously, selling it into the earnings, but I'm looking for a capitulation into here. And then if we're going to get the rebound move, which I think we will, I'm not, even we get a correction to 14.6 on the NASDAQ, that's an opportunity, folks. We're in very reactive price behavior at the moment, for sure. But that's coming into play like a lot of these. The other one that we really need to watch, that I've mentioned this before, is Apple. On the weekly, no, there's the daily. Weekly had an HSI up here at 182 and change. Clearly, we're in a harmonic pause off of that. And you go to the daily, well, we're sitting right at a hop level. Okay, again, harmonic pause. That's not a place I want to be entering new long positions. If we come down, it would be great. I mean, best thing Apple could do would be drop to 146. Yes, the whole market would go down a lot more in that event. But if you're talking long-term uptrends and you want a place to get into Apple, it's on the pullback. It's on the reaction. The fact that we've spent how many sessions now going on, dozen days, maybe 20 sessions here, going sideways. Okay, this is, let's do our ruler again. All right, here's terminal bar with the hop level at the hop. Where's 30 bars? 30 bars is right there. All right, so what's happening at the hop level and what's happening in the zone? It goes up. You do register your register HSI right there. So that helps the top end of the zone. And just the one singular HSI. So a sideways kind of pause action. It's not continuing, and I'm still monitoring this. But if the other markets are lining up or leaning this way, and we're clearly pausing here, I would love to get this thing to come back down, even come back into the zone. Give me something off the top. Give me a bullish pattern off the top. Give me something, in the next, here, go off the hop. Where did this really stall? Start there. Okay? And 30 days is basically the 24th. We're talking another 8-10 sessions, and we'll see where this is. But it's not, in terms of a long position, no. But this could just be a larger pause that still comes lower and gives a signal and go. A lot there. But Apple, of course, that's a big one. The other one that we featured that I think we don't want to take our eyes off of it, something like Square, now known as Block. All right, check a look. This was a high flyer. This was a Kathy Wood special. Now what? Where does this go? All right, because you're 20. We'll talk about 10x. Well, COVID low is what, 33? The peak was 300 almost, 280, 290. So that, for me, not a surprise. We're going to see this do either a 618, which would be like right where we are now at 132, or a full reset 886. There's no in between. I'm thinking it's it's closer to where we are. We're oversold on amplified. I think the daily's a better situation. Yeah, hasn't triggered yet, but you're quite close. these are the ones I'm looking at. I'm not, I want to see more development than what's happening, but the simple fact that a lot of these are 30, 40, 50% off their all-time highs makes me want to start looking at them. Here's the other one, Snap. That thing looked like it was going to run, but got just absolutely clobbered and go on the weekly. You're seeing the same kind of thing, folks. All right. And I want to be aware of this. I'm not saying these are opportunities yet, but this could happen pretty quickly where you come up, look, maybe Snap wants to be a shark like this, and all the way down. Give me a minimum 1618. Minimum 1618 is $28, and that's coincidentally at your 618. The full reset shark would be, really something. $13, $14. Don't dismiss that. We're at a point where a lot of these are starting to come off, and a lot of the ones that were huge winners that you would have loved to have grabbed at these prices, but they're not now. They're not there quite yet. Last one, Shopify, same type of deal. Daily time frame. I know there's what was down here. I think it's on the eSignal platform. You have a crab and a few things here. I should pull that up. Give me 1 second. Before I switch platforms, here's SPY. Now this is something I am for this platform on TradingView. It's definitely important to be not complacent when I see big patterns like this on daily or weeklies that get generated. It was kind of the lesson from last year on the big monthly patterns we saw that were amazing bullish opportunities. Well, we're getting them on the bearish side that auto-generated. But a lot of them have not had confirmation. And I said that regarding the Dow and the S&P, that anything that was a correction would still be just a reaction. And this came down in the latest retest. And actually, it's another counter HSI signal. So let's highlight it of what's happened in recent weeks, because I think the S&P 500 is probably going to give us a better picture than NASDAQ will of what the larger market will do. Will the larger market roll over this year finally and give a massive correction? Or is this just another continuation? So there's type 1, folks. Terminal bar off of the crab. Basically, what happened was you had a correction in September, went down, and it became a 1618 extension. Very common. We see that so much within the longer term uptrends. Down to a 618, up to a 1618, down to a 618. Now we're on a type 2. Do we go to 1618 or 113? What's happening? Because I mentioned this, it was Monday or Tuesday, we talked about it, where we have a retest, but with no confirmation. No HSI up here. Close, but that's the difference. So anything coming off of this is a reaction, and if now we have a counter HSI signal. So the larger possibility of this being something, an important critical bearish signal, I'm not there yet. I want to see what happens on this retest. Do we eventually get to the hop level, and that would be our larger signal? That's, for me, I think more of what we want to look for. Just not a heck of a lot at that point. Really quick, let me bring up the other one. Have I been able to get my books to Southeast Asia? No. No books have been reaching over there in the last years. Yeah, Nasdaq is bleeding on the type 2 return patterns. Uh, if Nasdaq goes lower, wouldn't Netflix go lower? Absolutely. Yeah, that's what we're trying to line up. Respect those, the longer term, larger index, what that's saying versus what a lot of these have done. They've corrected, but they're not quite there yet. They're they've pulled back, as I said, in a lot of cases 50%, but they need more time. Not what you want to see. Let's spend a couple minutes over on that other platform. Yeah, and then wrap it up. Hey, I didn't give away a book, so I'm just going to go first. Who are the first people here? Uh, Honey Badger. I didn't give a book away on Tuesday. I'm giving a couple books away now. So the first couple people that I see that got in here, Honey Badger, if you're still here, send me an email and with your mail address, and I will send you a volume 2 or volume 3 of your choice. Couple more. How about Crypto Cartel? Did you get a book yet? Contact me. And then final one, Loot Patient. What's up, Loot? Send me an email, harmonictrader@gmail. Get you guys a couple books. Volume 3s if you don't have them. Will I be able to speak about the profit protection zone? I think that's sure. Profit protection zone comes from volume Harmonic Trader book. I can break that out in a second. Let me bring. I'll pop that up because I haven't that initial. The initial concept of that was fairly vague. So I think it's. I can show you the illustration of it though. It goes way back. I think it's volume 1. Let me get. Before we do that, let me open the E-Trade one. And let's look at gold and some of these others that are starting to rev. I like them. And I do think that it's, gold's in a good position. Of course, energy, crude oil continues to go higher, but those are special situation stocks. They've worked out well. They've taken a while to get into development. But now, let's see here. Let's look at some of those individual issues. Also, the uranium, lithium stocks, resource stocks. Then that gets us to like Mosaic and some of the other ones that really we haven't seen these move for 10 years or more, and now they're aggressively coming off the floor. Really quick, let's look at the S&P futures. Thank you. And where are we? Thanks. There's a 5-minute chart. All right, for today, look at that butterfly at 10 a.m. There's a couple things there, but that butterfly really sticks out. Where are we going on the futures for today, folks? Get up your 60-minute chart. Look at that last 60-minute HSI. Not a heck of a lot there. If you're really, this thing is just range bound between 48 and 4,500. I don't think that's going to change. You even have a couple of patterns back at 4504. We could see that come back down and be retested. Let me look at, say, 4-hour or 2-hour time frame. What do we have here? Looks like you're just running back right into that zone. And still down until we get another HSI signal. Let me bring in the HSI indicator. This is for the harmonic pattern collection for e-signal, folks. And let me see here. You go on add-on. Bring that in there. And HSI. indicator. It's that one. There you go. So still trending lower. The thing with S&P for this week and tomorrow especially is that until we register oversold on here, which is happening fairly quickly, but and then come all the way down here. Again, look at how HSI is nowhere close to registering yet. Amplified is about ready to trigger something for now, but it has to come in and then pivot out. With HSI being where it is, no. Now, here's someone asked about profit protection zone. Here's something to look at. Okay, the 5-minute time frame. Let's just look at this butterfly pattern, because there's a few things to assess. If we're in a type 1, which this is, and it never came back for a type 2, I think this is a good example of really what is the true type 1. Because if you're at terminal bar, this is right here at the D point. That's the actual pattern completion at 47.34. You're thinking 47.22. Okay, we need confirmation. We're looking for this area, a check back. But once you get out of the zone, the whole profit protection situation depends on where you are. So you reverse out of the zone. Do you continue lower, or do you do more consolidation? This one had a quick reaction, came back up in the zone and banged the zone once or twice before it actually got down there. And the other thing is HSI triggers right there at target 2. So this is the thought going into profit protection zone, folks, is forget all of this. Let's be real about it. Why? Because we expect a return. You know, we expect this thing to come down, and then at this point I'm thinking it's going to return and go back. And if I'm going to take that assumption and I see it trigger, HSI triggers, and I know that this is my maximum segment no matter what, well, I have to assess how much I'm going to let that come back. And that profit protection zone is going to be different depending where I'm in. If I'm in a PRZ, okay, and I don't have any profit, I'm still waiting for it to unfold. That will be a function of how much time, how many bars have I gone sideways. If I'm 3, 5 bars and I'm still consolidating, that's okay. If I'm 20 bars, yeah, my profit protection zone is going to be really tight. But if I can get out of the zone and make my way down, stair-stepping down, bar by bar, I'm going to say this. At this point here, I'm not waiting for any pullback. And I would say that, you know, in this situation, you very easily could have got pulled out down here and not make all of this. Why? Because once we achieve our objective, we're looking to secure that profit, that known profit objective. And you could have easily got pulled out of this and not be in the whole thing. I mean, harmonic patterns, I'm the biggest critic of harmonic patterns, and they always look a lot better in the past than they do in real time. So think about that. That is absolutely the consideration, where our objective is there to there. Beyond that, I don't know. And I want to be super tight in my various degrees of management aggressiveness, and there's specific points we do that. This one, look, the 5-minute falling apart as we speak. It's where you probably go to like a 233 tick or a 30-second chart to get some more insight. Yeah, there's a bat pattern. It's 233 tick. This is a great one. So watch this one. This will come back for the return, right? There's reaction. HSI comes in for the confirmation. This is really fast. So from basically 80 to 84, your minimum objective is 82.69 or 75. It goes straight on through. Now, absolutely, you're protecting profit. And you're protecting the profit protection zone in this case is you don't want it to go under target 1, and these individual bars that you're looking at should not be violated. Shouldn't see a 233 tick candle close below, say, 83 or 83.50. And so you're protecting it here. You know, once you get to there, you're protecting it there and adjusting and adjusting, adjusting. Now it looks like you could get out of that hole a little bit. Run your trend line off of the low. I said off the low. And now you're looking to protect as you go step by step, as long as you maintain that uptrend. It really depends on where you are. You get to a certain level, the rest is gravy. That's how I think about it, because if the rest is gravy, then it's easy for me to take the profits no matter what happens. We're down, what, 150 or 200 something. Maybe that pops back up. So that's a great one. We're looking at that on the fly, and look at that price action. That's a strong type 1 as it's happening. Okay, but there's things that are going on within bar 3, bar 5, bar 7, that in other scenarios, if you're bar 7, bar 8, and you're not moving, you have to scalp. You have to protect your profit. This one has got a 233 tick, is becoming something larger, where even if you took partial profit, you know, let's say you were willing to take profit at the first red candle coming out of there, that's a great move. And now the rest is fine. Okay, now you have there's a bearish HSI, that pink arrow that just generated. That's the first one we've seen since the last bullish candle, bullish signal. How do I treat profit protection zone then? Bump the stops, right? If it's going to fail, that should sail right through. If not, it's going to roll over, basically taking out these lows. We're looking at sequences of events. We're looking at the framework, how to manage that. But it's certainly what we see is specific price behavior at certain levels. And if you don't see that, it's not what you think it is, and you have to manage. You have to scalp out. Like here we have a check back as we're speaking. Okay, but it's not rolling over. We're still riding this trend line. Look, straight up from there. But pretty clear, we take out these lows, your trade is over. We can follow through, bang, you're going to continue. There you go. I need to do more of this with you folks, because absolutely is critical. There are specific thoughts to be generating in your brain as you go step by step. I think the larger stuff we've seen, the patterns, what you have, pretty clear. Let's look at gold quickly. And I'm going to finish up with crude oil. Gold's just grinding, folks, up and down. 4-hour alternate bat pattern just completed yesterday with confirmation. But I'm only looking for a reaction here. And if anything, let's see how this works out by Monday, Tuesday. I would love to see this come down and then do the move. Do the type 2 return. This is type 1 reaction all over it. I mean, it's sweet. Really nice pattern. Everything's nice. Even your terminal bar right there links up with perfect HSI. So that's real nice confirmation. At 1825, you're thinking 10 or even 1800. But it's on that this first reaction, and then the return move that I would be looking for would basically get this thing to get going again and start up one more time. Someone said platinum, palladium. Platinum is another one. 960. Look at platinum. Look at that's a 4-hour chart. I'm going to show you the monthly though. Look at that back to back. All right, platinum's nice. Shark to bat. Come back, retest the shark again. About 925 major support on platinum. And I think that's one that's, weren't we looking at that PLG a long time ago? There's your monthly on platinum, folks. This is another one. It's going to take time. I mean, it could take the better part of a year, 18 months to get this thing off the floor. But what is it? It's type 2. Why? Well, there's the first reaction, but you don't go to target 1. You come back. All right, now we're in business because there's HSI. And incredibly, look at the hop level. Was the exact low. 590, 587. Okay, this is type 1. That's important to understand. We didn't get to target 1, even though we had a reactive bounce. Officially, target the type 2 return starts there. And we just need to get to the 886, which is right there. We just hit it last, 2 weeks ago? At 885 is your floor. 885 is a big floor. For this to do the return move back to target 2, I'll show you. Here's that PLG. This is a speculative mining that we talked about a long time ago. I think it was a weekly, somewhere around $2. I think it was $2. Yeah, okay. The Gartley is a 786, 269. We're at the hop level though, just like the other hop we saw. And that's your absolute maximum limit, but we're starting to respond off of that. Forget the crab pattern getting generated. Down here, I want to see, just give me 1 week, a bullish reversal candle. That would be real helpful to this larger zone. Not much yet, but yeah, HSI is not down there yet on the weekly. But you do have one of these monster massive patterns. Here's the other one. Here's Dorado Gold. EGO. That was the other one. Again, speculative. Yeah, we were looking at that on the daily or monthly. Daily. Daily is a, yeah. Shark, and there it was. It's a Gartley and a shark. We were looking at this at the hop back in October. But came up, did not get to target 1, so we're still in reaction land. Basically $9 is where you want to look for this. It's $9.61, maybe just under $9. And look for this to try to get out of the hole. Go back up to target 1. Now there's many more markets, moving a lot better than this, but just so we have the picture on gold, and we're pretty clear on a GLD, same deal, nothing. It's a no-brainer action. But look at the chart. This is a super delayed type 2, and we know type 2s take longer than type 1s, but I'm okay with this, and this helps to tell the story. Type 1 reaction, done. Came all the way back. Amazing that the 886 is at 161.80 essentially. And it reversed exactly with confirmation. So folks, GLD, if you're looking for a safe place to be, is there with an ultimate target at 181. This is more of the kind of building scenario you want to see in type 2s. And I think it's, constructive for gold. Doesn't look like much, but it's happening, and we've seen it before. So let's see here. Couple more. Yeah, it's definitely. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. That's the kind of thing these kind of concepts, and what I'm really seeing, what I need to do is maybe highlight the thoughts that are going through my brain at the various levels. And let's circle it back to Bitcoin, to this big, no doubt, this is the monster of monster charts. So let's go to this Bitcoin chart and finish it up there. Why? Well, 44,292 is the big target 2 off of the butterfly. And we did get a bat pattern. Right, so this gray thing is a pending bat pattern. Has not been generated. It might generate, I think, in the next day or two. Officially, yeah, terminal bar has been tested. Is right there at 43,422. But remember, we do have a hop level that's a little bit lower. We have not broken out of this PRZ, so anything down here is reactive. Still say that on Bitcoin. It helps at least to look at this futures chart. But again, take a look at the deep crab pattern. This is the same as the spot, but not looking like it wants to even give up a type 1. So this is the thing about crypto you want to consider over the weekend. Bitcoin did a move off of a flaky deep crab that finally gave us something after months of a grind. We're still in a grind. The fact that you cannot get above that HSI, don't like it. We have to come back and terminal bar recheck at 41. This is all in play down here for a retest, folks. So don't think just because we popped off of 40,000 that Bitcoin's out of the hole. I would have felt a lot better had that come up here, been stronger, and then come down and then go. So this is the thing I wanted to finish up on, because I talked about it 2 weeks ago. This is the possibility. And I definitely don't want to, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just looking for the best possible price. Where could Bitcoin bottom and be the steal of the year, steal of the century, as it continues its long-term uptrend? We have violated that C point, which was a crab or butterfly, whatever you want. So as I said on Tuesday, our crab assessment to 89,000 is over. Until we have something else, we're going to wait. Will this bat give us something finally? I mean, HSI is nowhere to be found yet. Got down there, but we want concrete signals. Amplified, this green line stopped. That's a great sign, but it's early. We need both of them together. I want HSI to come down and trigger for Bitcoin. I don't care at what price either, but I want that to come down, and looks like amplified. This is still in a downtrend. We got to break out of that, come down, and then go. So these all show us we need, let's wait another week or more before any kind of larger assessment can occur. And I do think if we're looking for price history that's repeated, I want to look down here. I still want to look at that 1618 at 31,600. 31,600, folks. Book it. Book it. It's 31,600. Look, it's not even a price. It's a pivot point. It's a connection. It's a connect the dot level of what's the next connect the dot. And I take you back to what happened in 2018 of the same deal, back to back, deep crab. We had a bullish to bearish situation, and here it is. And I will screenshot this. I will post this side by side. But this is, I do think this is what we need to be mindful of, that this didn't happen. This situation happened more quickly than the current situation, but we had a deep crab. It gave you a real nice move, just like the other one did. Okay, and now we have a bearish pattern against a bullish pattern where we had to retest. We have to retest. This one did get to its respective hop, 55.15, and it happened in a real dramatic fashion. This is the framework. This is the example. We want to go, you want to do comparative stock to flow assessments. You have to look at comparative pattern assessments, which for the larger market to be a buying opportunity, we need this retest. Okay, we're in the midst of the return of the move, which I think we still are on our current case. And until we can have the retest, the secondary move, and then look at, even if you wanted to wait, okay, wait till the downtrend breaks out. There will be plenty of time for this, but again, look, we came down and flirted a few times with some false signals on HSI, and this is back in 2020. And then we got the real concrete retest signals that said, that's it. For me, again, we look at the current situation with Bitcoin on the futures. It definitely gives us a lot of information where that could possibly occur. And we come back, all right, we're in the return mode. We have a bullish pattern, has not completed yet. Until that turns green as generated by the software, it's not an opportunity yet. It's not a back-to-back. And this is the thing to look for over the weekend. If we don't get out of the hole and we continue going lower, that's the scenario I want to look for. But beyond that, all right, we're still in just simple reactive action. This needs more time. And I think by the weekend, if you can't get progress into Sunday's close, then what's this week? It's just like all the past 8 weeks, grinding lower highs, lower lows. So again, think of it that way. We're still in, if you're bullish, it's only reactions. Where I would see a massive opportunity for Bitcoin is on this retest of that pattern. Do we hit the hop or not? I don't know. But I will look for the 1618 retest as that first sign and give me something that corresponds with that. We've got, we've got a lot of time still left with this. Again, I'm not too concerned. You want to see it close above 44,300 would be one of the first signs. Yeah, I definitely feel like, look, I know there's a lot of hopium out there, and I'm very hopeful on Bitcoin, and I would love to have, probably take my biggest position ever in it if we get a retest. Put a sizable chunk, but it would be on that retest. Why? Because down here, I know I'm resolving this. I have a pattern here. Think of it as like a combination of a lock. The 1, 2, 3. If you had your locker in high school and you had a 3-digit combination, 26, 38, 42, something like that. 28, 42, 36, something like that. It's just the way that I think about it, the way that these have to come together, where it doesn't bother me it's breaking down. It doesn't bother me that I've been really had problems with Bitcoin since 53,000 and now under 46,000 and now under 42,000. That I will lean towards this. But overall, I'm still a believer that there's plenty of spaces to speculate. But the larger scenario won't get moving until we resolve that situation. That's what I think will happen. With no progress, we don't have to do much. If you do nothing between now and next week, this becomes a more likely scenario. If we can do something dramatic and get out of this hole, okay, I would still say you're going to need a lot more time. So be aware of that. I'll post these charts side by side. I'll give you the 2020 and 2022 scenario. Yeah. Okay, I didn't get to crude oil. Because I wanted to address this Bitcoin, but crude oil looks like this, folks. Crude oil is, just tell me what it's doing. Tell me what it's doing up here. Right? 67. We talked about this reaction on crude oil. Came all the way back. All right, and did get down to target too at 64.50. Amazing. But this is now resolved. I would look at crude oil as just continuing to stair step, but without question, anything above these prior highs, 85, or we do something like this. We come off in a reaction and then we explode. Everything you need to know is that number for crude oil, 88, 88.15. If I see 89, if I see 90 anything, I will start thinking 147.80 or 148 because that's the all-time high. There's nothing on crude oil above this 85, 90. I think we're almost already there. Look at your weekly, folks. And even if we had like this looping type 2 crab or butterfly, remember this? Okay. Look at that. We're retesting that hop level and we're failing. We're going straight on through that. So with all of that being said, again, crude oil just setting up that we'll already know we break out above these highs. You go not only 886, but again, I'm thinking you go to all-time new highs. And crude oil has been giving us those signals over and over again. It's just where are we going to accelerate? Yeah, you're getting a lot. You did get on the weekly time frame, you got amplified green line stops, you got an HSI at a very high level where we might think of looking for a bearish reversal. No, we're getting bullish continuation. So let's look at that on Monday. I think that's, it's been in a nice move. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little pullback here. The larger thing that we want to consider, and there's plenty of time for this, is if this does this move, what does that mean for Exxon and Chevron, refiners? It means they probably go back to retest their all-time highs. Let's be just really hyper-focused on all of this because what will happen at these prices will give us a lot of indication of what we can look for into the rest of the year. I think it's, there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of early signals. Thanks, everybody. So I'm going to finish up there. Really long session today, but a lot to get into. Appreciate everyone hanging in here. We'll be back on Monday. For those that won books, please contact me at harmonictrader@gmail.com and definitely get with your basic membership. Register now on the website. Give us just an email, and then all that you need to know about getting with the software is in the sign up page, and become a basic member. The other books, if you have not received your book yet, please be patient. Give me another week or two. I know they've been getting there. They've just been delayed. A lot of people in the United States, it took 2 weeks for people in the United States to get these books. So give it another week or two. But thanks again, folks. Have a great one. We'll be back on Monday at 11 o'clock. Until then, as always, go get 'em. See you then.